Welcome to the new series. This is from Alpha to Omega. It's a brand new Memotar character, Pod Salvager. This guy looks like he's ready to give everybody a little free candy if you get into the back of his van. I think it's absolutely perfect for what we're going to be doing here. We're going to focus on trading. That's where I made most of my money in Eve, and I'm going to teach you guys exactly how I do that. I don't really do station trading. It's a little bit slower paced. I like to do regional trading, a little riskier, a little bit higher reward. I did do the referral program, so it gave me, the extra million skill points. Saves about a month. If you guys need this million skill points, I'll put a link in the description, and you can use that one, or you can use your friends, whatever. But it's definitely gonna help. Other than that, the first step here is going to be do all of the career missions. Right now, we don't have any ISK. We've got 5,000 ISK. That's not nearly enough to really do anything. So if you go to your agency, and we're going to go to the career agents here, all of these missions here, especially the industrial ones, these are going to give us a bunch of different ships. By the end of this, we should have 10 million ISK or so, and that's exactly where we're going to get started. So I'm going to knock these out, and I will see you guys on the other side. Okay, boom, we're back. We went through pretty much all of the career missions. I did skip a couple. I got kind of bored with it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't do the exploration one. I did like 3 out of 5 of them. So what I ended up with, I am at 8.7 mil. I have 2 ships. I've sold everything, and I've moved down to Dodixie. We're going to talk here in a second about why I picked Dodixie. But just to show you exactly what we're sitting on right now, we have a Wreath and a Venture, and that's it. So that's kind of the current situation. I did use some of the skill points. Right now I'm just training up just some of the general skills as far as fitting more stuff on your ship. All of that is stuff in engineering. The two things that I actually picked that were super important to the way I'm going to play was trade. Trade allows us to have a few more listings in broker relations. I'm pretty sure that takes some of the broker fees down. This is going to be a really limiting factor. We only have a total of 17 sell orders. I'm used to having hundreds of sell orders, so we're really going to have to pick very well. The other thing that I thought was super important was navigation and evasive maneuvering. Both of these lower the agility of your ship, and it's going to mean that you align and you warp out faster. The rest of it, I don't really see a point in super heavily investing into anything. You can if you want to. I'm not really going to play that way. I did spend a little bit on getting a mining venture kind of going, because so what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to set up a couple spreadsheets. We're going to have to look at the market just on a few websites. It takes a little bit of time. So in the meantime, I figured, I could use a little venture to kind of just play around a little bit, make a little extra income. I think they make like $500,000 a load or something like that. It's pretty low, but it's just something to do while we're kind of somewhat AFK. I don't want to be totally AFK. Get all those gankers will be coming and looking for me. I'm not about that. So anyway, I threw together this super simple fit for a venture. I took mining free at level 3. I got mining upgrades level 1 just so I could fit this. But it's super basic fit. A couple hobgoblins in there, so I took a little bit of drone skills. Right? This is it's just your standard what the hell is it called? Venture fit, right? The other thing that we're going to need right away that I think is going to be super important is going to be this Magnate. I looked at all the ships, and I think the Magnate is by far the best. So this is like the Tech 1 exploration frigate, but what we're going to do here is we're going to utilize this 400 M3 because these exploration frigates have quite a bit of cargo space. And then the goal really was just to get this thing to align as fast as possible. We want it to warp super fast. I might even change one of these out for a little bit higher warp speed, honestly, just so this thing really moves along. But this is what we're going to use at first to haul some of the smaller things from Jita all the way back down here to Dodixie. So things like books, some small fittings. I can't really imagine we're going to have a ton of cargo at the beginning. And this is going to allow us to kind of slip through and move a lot faster than we would in any type of industrial ship. Speaking of industrial ship, though, I have picked one, and this is part of the reason that I decided to go with Minmatar, because in the tutorial they gave me one of these and it saved me like a million ISK. So this is what we want it to look like. I cannot afford this now. It's 6.9 mil, but we can do 10,000 M3 with this little Tech 1 ship, which is crazy. This is crazy. Its align time it's pretty good, 8.5 seconds. That's not bad. We got a really high warp speed on it because I threw like 3 of these hyper specials on it. Otherwise, it's all just tank. It's not gang proof at all by any means, but I think it's going to do really well for us, because part of the plan here is to get us to like 15 to 30 million so we can start doing trade goods. Trade goods are sold by NPCs, where, you know, once we get up to like 30 million with this ship, we can pretty easily make about 10 mil an hour running a bunch of like trade goods just back and forth between NPC stations, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. It's probably going to be like the primary way we get quite a bit of bank running so that we can really get serious into trading. Other than that, I mean, I made a little Tristan. It's kind of my go-to for getting started. My all-around little drone ship, man. These things can do just about anything. And in case I wanted to run a mission or two, I threw a Tristan fit together. I'm not going to be buying that right away, though. That's kind of just a little extra 1 million. And, man, every penny we've got counts right now. So that kind of covers the skills, that covers the ships, that covers the plan. I'm going to put all of the ships down in the description of this video, just so if you guys need these fits to get started, by all means do that. Now, when you fit this guy, you don't have to go crazy on all the Tech 2 fittings right off of the bat. It's going to be super cheap to just run with Tech 1 fittings. And all of these fits that I put together, I realized that they're probably not the optimum way to fit them. But I also looked at the price of all the fittings, and I did it as cheaply as possible, because we need as much capital as we can to get started trading, and we're already going to have to spend like quite a bit of it. We're going to have 4 or 5 million by the time that we go up to Jita and, you know, buy all the fittings for the Venture and get the other ship. What the hell was it called? The Magnate, right? We got to get that as well and all of that fitting. So before I take off to Jita, let's talk about a couple things, because this first run, I'm just going to get my ships. I'm getting everything together. And then before we actually invest, we're going to look into what is going to be the best investment, and that's going to take a little bit of time, okay? So first, let's talk about why I chose Dodixie. So this is adamforeve.eu. Make sure you do .eu. .com. I'm pretty sure that's an adult toy store. You don't want to. You're not going to find this there, okay? So .eu. So the reason I like this site is because it shows a ton of awesome information on the market. So if we go to market hubs, first of all, there's quite a few of them here. Now let's take a look at how many sell orders they are. Number one, of course, it's Jita 4.4. That's where it's like more than any of these combined almost. It's just a crazy amount of stuff is sold at Jita. So for us, we're going to be buying from Jita. The best prices are always going to be in Jita. Maybe you'll find a deal of the day as an outlier, but when we go for a load, we're going to Jita. We're not placing buy orders there. It's far too slow. We're going to be buying straight from sell orders. So we want to go where there are the most sell orders that we can really look through stuff and pick what we want. So now, as far as buy orders go, like where are people buying the most? Owner income from buying. So if you take a look, there's a couple places here, right? Jita's number one, and look here, number two, we have Dodixie. Now, that's not to say that Heck and Rents are not viable options. Heck's a little bit shadier. I mean, they're sitting at a 0.5. I know there's gankers down there a lot. It's a little bit rougher crowd. And Wrens, I've traded in Wrens before. It's a great system too. Both of these are great picks, really. I prefer Dodixie though. It's not as competitive as Jita because I don't want to sit there and have to modify my offer all the time. But it's competitive enough that I'm not going to have to take forever to sell something, right? I want stuff that moves reasonably quickly, not super competitive stuff, right? So that's number one. That's why we chose Dodixie, right? So we're going to get into this more. We're going to go into how to pick the right items to sell and how to look for them. There's a few websites we're going to use. We're probably going to make a really simple spreadsheet to kind of stay on top of the things that we're doing. But for now, I am going to just pod my way up or take a shuttle straight up to Jita. And let's grab our little mini hauler and all the fittings for our venture, and I will be right back. And here we are in Jita 4.4 in our little pod. We made it all the way up here from Dodixie. So we're going to just grab a couple things real quick. We're going to be coming up here every now and then. But the thing that we really came for was this fit right here truck. So we're going to right click this and we're going to buy all. Let's see what we come up with. It should be pretty close to 2.4 mil. If it's not, we're going to figure out why. All right, 2.4 mil. That's exactly what we expected. The damage control is a little expensive. The Magnate itself is a little expensive. None of this is too awful, though. It's not like it's millions over. So let's buy this. All right, now let's right-click in multi-fit. Great. So we're going to call this, yeah, we'll just call it truck. Why the hell not? So let's fit this ship. All right. And dive into it. What is this here? Oh, I have a shuttle here from earlier. Okay. So to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Bamar ships. I never really have been. Why is it zooming out like that? I don't know. For some reason, my zoom is was going crazy there. So I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I don't know. Just the golden. It's a little too blingy for me. I'm a fan of the Minmatar, rust buckets, solar panels, duct tape. This is just too fancy for my taste, but it's gonna have to work for what we need it for, right? So let's take a look at the fit. Make sure everything's on there properly. Yeah, it looks like we are good to go. Right, we've got plenty of cargo space, and it's gonna move plenty fast. So let's grab all of the fittings that we're going to need from this guy right here. So let's buy all again. And we should be close to 1.9 mil on this one. Okay, almost 2 mil. That's cool. We do not need the venture because we have that already. And we do need the hobgoblins. So that should be everything. 25% over. This is a little high. Man, we're paying a lot for this shield, but that's okay. It's going to give us quite a bit of extra HP. I wonder if we could swap that out. I don't really think it's worth saving the money. We're down to 1.6 mil. So let's go ahead and buy all this. Let's grab all of our stuff. We're going to throw it right inside this Magnate. It's got plenty of cargo space still. I'm not really going to buy anything right now to sell. We're just going to take this back down to Dodixie, get a little bit more settled in, put our venture together, start mining a little bit, and then we are going to figure out exactly what is going to be our go-to to sell down in Dodixie that's going to move quick enough so we can really start making some bank. I will see you guys down there in Dodixie. You know what, guys, before we go down to Dodixie, since we're still here in Jita, I'm going to teach you how to make a safe dock and a safe undock. These are two things that are super critical for being a hauler so you don't get blown up on the station. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to actually use this Magnate that we just put together. The only thing you need for this is a micro warp drive. So let's undock from the station. And then you got to kind of be a little quick about this, not too bad though. Down here, we're able to turn on our tactical overlay, right? So let's get behind the ship and zoom out a little bit, turn on our tactical overlay. You see how we got the horizon right here? We're just going to zoom out, right? And we are going to just kind of double click in space. So you see that little blue circle there? So that way we're going nice and straight. Turn on that micro warp drive. Make sure we're moving straight away from the station. And what we want to do here is move at least 150 away from the station. Maybe a little bit more than that. That's what we need to have a safe point to warp to. All right, we are about 250 away from the station now. Still going in that same trajectory straight over the horizon here. So I've changed my keybind. I switched mine to R. It's save location. Oh, I guess I didn't on this character yet, so we'll do that together real quick. So you go to shortcuts, navigation, and then save location. I'm going to switch that to R because that's something I use all the time. So now in space, we're going to hit R, and we're going to call this undock. Submit that. All right, so now let's warp back to the station, but we're not going to actually dock. So let's warp back there.
Warp drive active.
Once it gets in warp, we're going to click stop. All right, stop the ship. And now we are going to just approach the station. Reason being, if you look at the distance, we're at 403 meters. We want to be at 0 on the station. Whenever you warp to a station, you don't warp exactly to it. You more than anything, you land on like this outside circle of the station, and then you have to ferry in. So you can avoid that and instantly dock to the station if instead you put a bookmark that's way closer to that station, and then you can dock instantly.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Instant dock, right? So now we're always going to warp to that dock bookmark, and when we undock, we're going to do this. We're going to make sure nobody can ever lock us. So we'll go to people and places. Let's get this out of the way. And if you look at your personal locations, undock right here. We can right click that. So let's undock. We're going to right click and warp to it. Right click, warp to 0. And look how quick we're in warp. Boom, away from the station. And we can be on our merry way. We don't have to worry about people blowing us up as soon as we undock. All right, so we are back in Dodixie. We got our venture all fitted up, and I think that's where we're gonna end this one today. We're already, what, 20 minutes in? Something like that. So next episode, we're gonna jump into a belt, start and put things together, figure out exactly what we're going to sell, and how to use all the different websites that it takes to be a successful trader.